Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. Just out here with my two kids. That's Jaden right there. And behind the tree is Preston, if you can kind of see his little head right there. We're up here looking for crystals, and I'm casually testing out two things. This is a cold steel, I guess it's not a tomahawk, what do I think? Tomahawk. Machete, comes with a sheath. Sorry about the wiggling. I got it because of that odd angle. It's a pretty new thing. A legit like survival blade. And then I got this thing a few years ago, and I took it out on a 5-item survival, and it was just a disaster. I didn't like it. Just didn't suit me well, so I decided I'd give it another try. So just here hiking, looking for crystals and fossils, and yeah, we're gonna just have a good time here. Just chilling by the water. Let's talk about this. Why this? I'm doing one-handed, so be patient with me. This is the knife I carry most of the time. This is what your standard kind of bushcrafty knife. It's not a survival knife. A lot of people get that mixed up. This is not a survival knife. This is a bushcraft knife. It can do a little bit of splitting, carving, ferro rod striking, but it's not a chopper. You can whack on stuff all day long. It's going to take a lot of effort to chop with this thing. So it's just something you got to know your tools. So you'd want to carry a saw or a hatchet or some kind of a forest axe with you. This is what I would consider a survival blade or knife. It's not really a knife, it's a little big for a knife. It's a machete. I like that it has this 45-degree angle on it, because this portion right there, that can stick into things. It can give you some purchase for splitting. Well, let's get it on the camera. So it'll dig in a little bit. I like that it has a very pointy, sharp tip for drilling, carving, but this is big enough that it can serve all three purposes that I would consider for a survival knife, kind of a must-have list. It chops fairly well. Mostly its size. It can split decently. It's probably 1/8 of an inch thick. I like the handle. It takes some getting used to, because well, you got girly hands like me, you got to wear gloves, because the handle's a bit rough on the hands. But it'll chop, it'll split, it'll strike a ferro rod, it'll do all kinds of different tasks that are suitable for a bigger blade. Whereas, you know, your bushcraft knife is terrible chopper. But so far it's a decent blade. I like it well enough. I'm gonna add it to my collection. I'll take it out now and again. And I would consider that a survival knife. Cold steel machete. It's kind of a newer thing. First I saw it was a few days ago. So thought I'd get it, try it out. I do like it. I do recommend it. It's just a good standard addition to your survival kit. You could take this in lieu of a bushcraft knife. You can choke up on it because it's got a wide blade, and do kind of some finer carving with it, like I'm not doing here, because one-handed, and this piece of box elder maple is not very good. I think I'll cut this piece right here just for a maybe a walking stick for the kids. This box elder maple is a hardwood, but it's kind of your softer hardwood. So anyway, that's not it. This is just a maple tree, but someone got this. This is box elder maple. You can tell by the shiny brown bark, and it stinks. Yeah, anyway. Always best to chop towards your legs, arms, hands, especially inside of your wrist. Do as I say, not as I do, right? He says as he strikes toward his leg. So I'm not giving the old power hits. Actually, I would take this over a hatchet. Your cutting surface is bigger. It's heavy enough to work as a hatchet, but it's not a stupid knife. It's not stupid big. It's not a big heavy wedge. If you're gonna split wood though, a lot of wood, especially logs, it's not gonna perform very well. You'd be disappointed in that. But I'm not much of a hatchet person. I got a couple that I like well enough, but like I said, I would prefer to have a saw over a hatchet, almost for every application. Just if I needed to split wood, I would decide that beforehand instead of carrying. I don't like to carry the holy trinity of camping, your saw, the hatchet, and the knife, when you can carry a knife and a saw. You know what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I just don't find enough uses to justify carrying the weight of a hatchet. My favorite hatchet is just, it's small. It's like that tall with a little wedge of a head on it. So take it for what it's worth, but much lighter, and because it's hardwood, it's decently strong. Little walking stick for one of the boys. This though it's a decent chopper. I mean, you're not gonna be taking down trees like this with it. It's good for cutting branches off. It does that really, really well. I have found that if I take it and I jam it into the ground like that, I can then take a branch, let me flip it around, and I can take a branch and pull it against the blade like that and produce some decent feathers. So if I find a fatwood stick, let me show you here. If I find a fatwood stick, I can just take some and make some feathers here. It's not hard at all to do that. Of course, it's difficult when you didn't get the blade in very far, but anyway, you can see what I've already made here with it, and that's pretty good. I'm gonna have to fix this. Well, where are we? I'm gonna have to fix this scuff on it. It's I hope you can see that, but it's not good. No good, no bueno right there. And I don't think I ever hit it into something. At least I don't remember. I've reviewed the footage I've had and I haven't really hit it anything, but yeah, you can make feathers. It's pretty good for that. You get it in there good. And it's sturdy. I don't know, it's not full tang. It's certainly not full tang. I would probably guess it comes either half or 3/4 up, but it's not a full tang thing. And I bet if you would beat on that, you'd break that off or something. The handle is very rough. It's rough on the hands. I would suggest using gloves with it, because these horizontal lines, they'll eat you up. They're like a file on your hands. So typically the way I've used it is either as a big chopper, or if I'm gonna carve, I put it into something like that, and then just like I showed you before, gently pull back on it. It would be great if I had a fatwood stick. That would be awesome. But yeah, you can just do this and slowly carve away a stick and make some curls for fire or whatnot. It does not replace, get out, okay, we can't. All right, it does not replace a hatchet. The thickness is one of it. That's, I think, just under about an eighth, probably an eighth of an inch. So it is not a splitter. If you get this thing stuck in a piece of wood and try to split it, like this guy or anything, get that wedged in there like that, you can beat on that for quite a while. And it will split, but no better than your knife. The only improvement it's going to have over, say, a traditional like bushcraft knife is its length, seeing as they're both pretty much the same thickness anyway. So I wouldn't consider it a replacement for a hatchet for splitting. If you're going to chop something big, I was hacking on this pine a bit ago. It's not the best for that. It removes a few chips, but not particularly well. And it's mean on your hands too. So anyway, it comes decently sharp at that edge. You can see, I hope you can see those grind lines on there. So if you're nitpicky about your edges like I am, you're gonna want to touch that up. It's got this, quote, non-stick coating on it that ends up being not non-stick and just puts black marks all over everything you want to cut into, like that guy right there and that guy right there. So again, it will throw chips, but if you want to chop, get an axe. This thing is good for green sticks, I would say, and smaller, like delimbing purposes, and might help me find some fatwood. if I can get into this root. Oh, no, that's all punk wood. I've gotten in the habit of putting it into something and then prying. Probably not good for it, but yeah, this tree, all punk wood. But it does great for punk wood, and similarly, it will cut right into green wood as well, real easy. So I'm gonna find fat wood. It's gonna be down in the heart of this beast, but Doug firs are not necessarily known for their fat wood. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So I like it, I keep it, I'll take it out now and again. If I do like a 5-item survival, I would probably take, no, I wouldn't. Not even then. It's a fun toy though. It's good to come out if you're, and I don't know, if you're gonna de-brush, like if you got brush all over the ground like that thing and some of that over there, the cold steel shovel is gonna do better because it's not gonna, you're not gonna worry about the edge as much. Hit a rock with that, big deal, flip it over, use the other side, and then get to file it and fix it. But I'm telling you though, it's not bad. Sand the handle and polish up your edge. And if you're a machete guy, or this is like a survival knife guy, I'd consider this a real survival tool because it can cut, it can do all the 3 tasks you're gonna want a survival tool to do. But anyway, yeah, it's not too bad. It might end up with my Boreal 21 and get shelved and not used a whole lot, but for its price, I would consider it quite good. Again, I really wish it had a full tang and a pommel on the end to beat things with. That way you can get a good grip on it and just whack a stake in the ground, or I guess flip it over and use that side. But anyway, like I said, if you like these kind of things, this is a really good one, especially the tip and the angle on there, because that can be used to do delicate splitting. Like if you're splitting small bits of wood, that is perfect for that type of thing. Those rounded edge ones have a lot more contact space, so they're harder to drive in. But anyway, I love you faces, and thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys on next video. Bye.